Yay Networks.
13 has been my lucky number for a while. Like, it's always a sign of good things to come for me.
This is 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast, breaking down every song, every Easter egg, every era, and every theory. Hosted by the biggest Swifties, Nick Adams, Anna Szabo, Amy Nichols, and Lacey G.
Hello and welcome to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. I'm Anna.
I'm Amy.
And it's
Just us.
Just us today. Because we're going to start some drama. We're going to say that we have bad blood.
We do.
With the other two.
Good idea,
right?
Pointing that out.
Yeah, with Lacey and Nick.
Yeah.
Versus Anna and Amy. Bad Blood 13 Podcasts version. So welcome to another Anna and Amy production. We're going to be talking about the song Bad Blood, Taylor's version, written by Taylor Swift, Max Martin, and Shellback.
Yes. Great collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
We love them together.
Mm-hmm. And just all around iconic music video, iconic backstory. I mean, when it comes to pop culture history, things of the sort.
It's one of the most defining moments of her pop career.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, definitely. And it is just so deep rooted in 1989 era.
Yeah.
Like when we'll get into it, like the music video, the Girl Squad era, just like everything of it is just so 1989 era.
So Ed Sheeran heard this song when it was a demo, before it was all detailed out, and he said this should be the lead single.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she's like, we'll see.
I wonder, that would be a cool conversation to have, to be part of, or at least be part of the conversations of like, okay, which one should be the lead single, which one gets a music video, because not every single song gets a music video, and not every single song obviously is released as a single, but I wonder what it was. I mean, yes, Bad Blood is iconic in itself and, stands the test of time. Mm-hmm. But at the time when you're trying to pick your singles, I mean, she went with what, Blank Space or Shake It Off?
I think Shake It Off, yeah.
Yeah. So, man, what an album.
I know.
When you really think about it.
Yeah, the YouTube comments, it was like, who's here in March 2024? I mean, everyone just knows this is a great song.
And it's really interesting too, because the backstory of the song I think is very, very important, because it spans a couple of years. If you really think about it. Should we just go ahead and get into it, I guess? Okay, so Bad Blood, I feel like the average person, if you're not like a diehard Swiftie, or even if you're just a casual Swiftie, whatever, when you think Bad Blood, you probably think Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Right? Because there is a lot of backstory between the relationship of Katy Perry and Taylor Swift. So I actually have a full breakdown timeline of their friendship, falling out, and reconciliation.
Yes.
Is that the right word?
I think so.
They reconciled. So this is very, very, this is pop culture history. This is Swiftery, if I dare say. So let's start at the very, very beginning. Katy Perry and Taylor Swift were very friendly, starting from when Taylor started in like the early 2000s. In like 2008, 2009, they exchanged like birthday messages on social media, things of the sort. Katy Perry actually even made a surprise appearance on the Fearless tour.
Yeah, I saw that video today. I had no idea.
Yeah, performed Hot and Cold. Yeah, I mean, Katy Perry is still a very, well-known artist and household name, but back then, like in 2010, I feel like Katy Perry was just really, really top of the charts, top of everyone's mind, like always playing on the radio, Hot and Cold, I Kissed a Girl, that was like a peak Katy Perry era. At least for me as a casual Katy Perry fan. I'm sure her fans would say like, no, this other album was better, whatever. But anyway, so, between 2009 and 2014, Taylor and Katy Perry just had a friendly relationship, like nothing really super crazy. But then we got Bad Blood on the 1989 album. And in an interview with Rolling Stone, Taylor Swift said, "For years, I was never sure if we were friends or not." Wait, hold on. Okay, let me start with what she said to Yahoo Live because that provides a little bit more context.
Okay.
So this was when she was promoting 1989. And with Yahoo Live, she said, Bad Blood is a song I wrote about a new kind of heartbreak that I experienced recently, which was when someone that I desperately wanted to be my friend and thought was my friend ended up making it really obvious that she wasn't. It was somebody that I really looked up to and really, really longed for the approval of this person. And so it was kind of devastating to receive this kind of low blow from that person. And this song was kind of the first time I ever released it up for myself and that relationship because she was always the bolder and louder one. I think it's important to stand up for yourself, and if you can really come up with the courage to do it in song form, then that's how you should do it. So she didn't like name names, but she did say that it was, about a female friend.
Yeah.
And then in Rolling Stone, she said, for years, I was never sure if we were friends or not. She would come up to me at award shows and say something and walk away, and I would think, are we friends? Or did she just give me the harshest insult of my life? In 2013, she did something so horrible, and I was like, oh, we're just straight up enemies. And it wasn't even about a guy. It had to do with business. She basically tried to sabotage an entire arena tour. She tried to hire a bunch of people out from under me, and I'm surprisingly non-confrontational. You would not believe how much I hate conflict. But now I have to avoid her. It's awkward, and I don't like it.
She wanted to make it very clear that it wasn't about a guy, and I'm assuming it's because Katy Perry was dating John Mayer at the time.
Oh, well, that's important. That's very important context.
Yeah.
And also, if you think back to like the 1989 era, we know that Taylor's dating history, she was quote unquote, quote by Taylor Swift, that she was a lightning rod for slut shaming, right? And it was like 1989 where she was like, well, I'm going to hang out with my girlfriends instead. That's when she kind of, established her like girl squad era. She was always surrounding herself with her female friends.
Yeah.
So she wanted it to be known that this was not about a breakup. So that interview with Rolling Stone came out, and then Katy Perry tweeted saying, watch out for the Regina George in sheep's clothing. So when that interview came out, even though Taylor didn't say specifically Katy Perry, people kind of started putting one and two together and started speculating, oh, she's probably talking about Katy Perry. And then when Katy Perry tweeted that, it was kind of confirmation, I guess you could say. And then in 2015, in an interview with The Telegraph, Taylor was asked about it, but she actually said that she was not going to talk about it. She said, I'm not going to talk about her in this interview. I have my friends and I have enemies. That was pretty much all she said. And then in an interview with GQ, also in 2015, the interviewer brought it up and pointed out the fact that Taylor didn't say names, but Taylor did let the public run with the story that it was Katy Perry. So Taylor said, you're in a Rolling Stone interview, and the writer says, who is this song about? That sounds like a really intense moment from your life. You sit there and you know you're on good terms with your ex-boyfriend, and you don't want him or his family to think that you're firing shots at him. So you say that was about losing a friend. And that's basically all you say. And then people cryptically tweet about what you meant. I never said anything that would point a finger in a specific direction of one specific person, and I can sleep at night knowing that. I knew the song would be assigned to a person, and the easiest mark was someone that I didn't want to be labeled with this song. It's not a song about heartbreak. It's about the loss of friendship. She said, so I don't necessarily care who people think it's about. I just needed to divert them away from the easiest target. Listen to the song. It doesn't point to any one person or any one situation. But if you've listened to my previous 4 albums, you would think this was about a guy who broke my heart. And nothing could be further from the truth. It was important to show that losing friendships can be just as damaging to a person as losing a romantic relationship. Yeah. So yeah, she didn't want people to think that she was firing shots at her exes when she knew that she was on good terms with her exes, right? But then, I don't know, having people just, I don't know, letting people run with the story that it was like Katy, like she didn't shut it down, and Taylor can do no wrong in my eyes, but the truth is she didn't shut that down. Yeah. So then the following year in 2016, somebody tweeted at Katy Perry asking, are we ever going to get a collab between you and Taylor Swift? And Katy responded saying, if she says sorry, sure. And then the next month in October of 2016, Katy Perry was actually at a Kanye West concert, and she recorded herself dancing and singing during that line in the song Famous. Because this was following the whole thing. This is 2016.
Yes.
So this was following the whole thing with Taylor and Kanye about I made that bitch famous.
Yes.
That was the line that Taylor did not approve of in the song with Kanye. And so then Katy Perry goes to the concert and records herself singing during that part. It's just kind of adding fuel to the fire.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. Adding fuel to the fire.
And also in 2016, Katy Perry had a fragrance called Mad Love.
Oh, really?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
So
it's like
back and forth.
It's just a back and forth. So then, May of 2017, in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Katy Perry talked about her new album, Witness. So this is when she's promoting this album, Witness. And she was asked about whether that album contained a response to Bad Blood. And she commented saying that the record is very empowered, but she said there is no one thing that's calling out any one person. So I think she was just trying to like shut that down beforehand.
Is this the album with Swish Swish?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then she did say, she said, one thing to know is you can't mistake kindness for weakness, and don't come for me. Anyone. And that's not that any one person, and don't quote me on it. Don't quote me on that it is, because it's not. It's not about that. Honestly, when women come together and decide to unite, this world is going to be a better place, period, end of story. But let me say this. Everything has a reaction or a consequence, so don't forget about that. Okay, honey?
Well, it just seems immaturity on both parts.
Yeah.
But, you know, that happens.
But
life has trauma.
But it's kind of like both. Like, okay, if she feels wrong, then she writes a song about it. Then she can do that. And then same goes for her. If she feels wrong and feels, some kind of way about it. Because then she went on to say, we got to keep it real. This record is not about anyone else. This record is about me being seen and heard so that I can see and hear everyone else. It's not even about me. It's about everything that I see out there and I digest. I think there's healing in it for me and vulnerability. If people want to connect, to be healed and feel vulnerable and feel empowered and strong, God bless, and here it is. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But then, to continue the timeline, then Katy Perry went on Late Night with James Corden.
Yeah,
and she
Carpool
did
Karaoke.
Carpool Karaoke, and this was in 2017. And I think she just talked about it just straight up.
Mm-hmm.
She said, honestly, it's really like she started it and it's time for her to finish it, referring to Taylor, because James Corden asked about the feud specifically with Taylor. And so then during the segment, she basically confirmed the root of the cause of the feud was about the backup dancers, right? Like the story was that Katy Perry like stole Taylor Swift's backup dancers. Yeah. That was the narrative.
I think 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So during Carpool Karaoke, Katy Perry said, okay, so there was like 3 backup dancers that went on tour with her, with Taylor. They asked me before they went on tour if they could go. And I was like, yeah, of course. I'm not on a record cycle, so get the work. She's great and all of that. But I will be on a record cycle probably in about a year. So be sure to put it in your 30-day contingency in your contract so you can get out if you want to join me. And when I say I'm going to be back on. So then she said the year came up and I texted all of them because I'm very close with them. And I said, hey, look, just FYI, I'm about to start. I want to put the word out there. And they said, okay, well, we're going to go and talk to management about it. And they did, and they got fired.
Oh, dang.
According to Katy Perry.
Okay.
According to Katy Perry.
Right.
So then she said that Taylor never talked to her about the dancers, like I guess despite wanting to hash things out. But she said, but what I want to say is that I'm ready for that BS to be done. Now there is a law of cause and effect. You do something and there's going to be a reaction, and trust me, there's going to be a reaction. It's all about karma, right? I think personally that women together, not divided, and none of this petty bullshit, women together will heal the world. And then James Corden asked her, like, would it be enough to just receive a text message from Taylor that said, the beef is off the grill? And she said 100%. So I think they just had like these years of just kind of.
Yeah, it was drawn out.
Yeah, drawn out, back and forth, shots at each other, references at each other, like you said, like swish, swish, and things like that. So then during this press tour, there were, it kept coming up. Like when Katy Perry was on this press tour for her album Witness.
That's got to be so exhausting.
It kept coming up. And she did kind of on, like in the James Corden, other interviews, she would talk about it, not extensively, but she would. Mm-hmm. Taylor never commented on it at the time. But remember how, and if you go back to our Shake It Off episode, we had this whole timeline about Taylor removing all of her music from streaming services. Yes. Mm-hmm. So Taylor made her entire catalog available on Spotify the same day that Katy Perry's Witness album came out. So a lot of people saw that as a pretty petty move, petty response.
But I still I like petty.
Yeah.
I think petty's great.
And we can like laugh about it now because now in real time they've made up the olive branch things. Yes. But at the time that was pretty petty to do that. Was it on purpose? We can't say.
We just can't.
But is it a coincidence? We also just can't say. So then right after that, August of 2017, that's when we get blessed with Taylor's Reputation album. And the lead single for Reputation was Look What You Made Me Do, which has a lot of references. And whenever we get to that album and that episode, I'm telling you right now, that episode is going to be 3 hours long. But to kind of, you know, what's it called? Spark notes it, I guess. There were references in Look What You Made Me Do that fans speculated pointed to Katy Perry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of references to Kanye as well, but that's for a separate episode. So the references that people connected to Katy Perry was like in the music video, there's that one scene where she has like the blonde haircut that kind of looked like Katy.
In a high ponytail?
Yeah.
Yes,
when she's in the Maserati.
Yes.
Yeah, so people thought that kind of resembled Katy Perry, especially during this time, because that's kind of like the hairstyle that she had around 2016, 2017. And then the lyric "Locked Me Out and Threw a Feast." Katy Perry has a song called Bon Appetit. So people thought maybe that was a reference. And then also The World Moves On, another day, another drama. But not for me, not for me. All I think about is karma. That was, I mean, we as fans, you know, have a lot of connections to karma and all of our theories. But at that time, the last pop star to reference karma was Katy Perry. In that interview. And then also she kind of references it in her song Swish Swish, which people thought was kind of about Taylor. Yeah. Because the lyrics in that song is, your game is tired, you should retire, you're about as cute as an old coupon expired, karma's not a liar, she keeps receipts.
Are you laughing at coupon?
I am.
Not a fan of that one?
I don't know.
I don't think I've ever heard coupon in a song before. Not sure.
All right. Yeah, you do that. But then after all of this, you know, this all started in 2014. And at this point, we're in 2017. And then in 2018, the day that Taylor's Reputation tour kicked off in Phoenix, Katy Perry sent Taylor an olive branch, a literal olive branch. To Taylor, and Taylor posted about it. It said, just got back to my dressing room and found this actual olive branch. This means so much to me.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably when and I don't know, maybe they had squashed things privately prior to that, but this was a more
public display.
And then in June of 2019, Katy Perry talked about their reconciliation on Instagram because she posted a picture of cookies that said "Peace at last" written in the frosting and captioned it feels so good, and she tagged Taylor in that post.
Yes.
And then Katy Perry was also featured in the You Need to Calm Down music video, which we so famously know, whether the burger and the fries.
Yes.
So that was all in 2018, 2019.
They were in their lover era.
Right. And then in September of 2019, Katy Perry went on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and she said it was actually just a misunderstanding. She said it was really unfortunate. We made amends, and I'm all about redemption and forgiveness and for setting an example for those younger people that it can be cool to ask for forgiveness and confront someone that you may have an issue with or a problem with and talk it out. So I agree, that's a perfect example. And then Taylor talked about it in Rolling Stone, which is very full circle because this was also her first like Rolling Stone feature, and I think it had been about like 5 years, but it was really the Rolling Stone article that kind of started it all.
Yeah.
But she said, we were talking about how we've had miscommunications with people in the past, not even specifically with each other. She's like, I'm a Scorpio. Scorpios just strike when they feel threatened. And I was like, well, I'm an Archer. We literally stand back, assess the situation, process how we feel about it, raise a bow, pull it back, and fire. So that's a kind of fun way to put it. But as long as they can, you know, both look back on it. And then in September of 2020, Katy Perry had her daughter with Orlando Bloom. And Taylor sent her a gift. It was the pastel pink silk blanket. And it was hand-sewn with personalized embroidery, including golden stars, a red-orange flower, and the year that Daisy was born. And it also said Baby Bloom written in cursive. And Katy Perry posted that.
That's precious.
Which was so precious. And then most recently, Katy Perry went to the Eras Tour.
Yes. Yeah, and she was singing Bad Blood.
Yeah, which
full
is
circle.
Full circle. Like that was really it's crazy to look back on it now that it's all kind of happened and it's all, you know, said and done, and especially with like Taylor's version, it's like, you know, all that stuff is going to come back up. And so for them to have reconciled, to close the chapter, both said it was a misunderstanding, we both talked it out, everything's good. I'm glad that happened before, because if that hadn't happened and then we got Taylor's version, it would have just all come up again, and it would have just been more drama, more, you know, shots being fired, things like that. And so it is a good example of how, you know, you can't, like Katy said, like it's cool to ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
And even if it was a misunderstanding when it was business and things like that, they still ran in the same circles of like seeing each other at award shows, and then it's awkward, and then you're just uncomfortable and you hate conflict. And I personally would hate that so much. Like I cannot handle knowing someone is mad at me, you know?
I shut down.
Yeah. Like I couldn't do that. So yeah, so that's kind of like a SparkNotes timeline of the feud, I guess you could call it, between Taylor Swift and Katy Perry, but all came to a good conclusion.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love that for them. Well, Bad Blood was nominated for Best Pop Duo Group Performance and won Best Music Video at the 58th Annual Grammy Awards in 2016.
Look at that.
What do you know? And in 2015, the MTV Music Awards, the music video for Bad Blood received 8 nominations and won 2, Video of the Year and Best Collaboration.
Yeah, because then the remix has Kendrick Lamar, which is awesome too that he also did a Taylor's version.
I love that.
Like,
I
that's
mean,
really cool.
I just assumed he would.
I assumed he would too, but it's cool that he actually did.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that's very cool. But let's talk about this music video.
Yes.
One of the most iconic.
So many celebrities.
Yeah.
I don't think I realized how many back in the day. Maybe I just wasn't in the celebrity world. I don't know, but it's a ton.
It's a lot. I think it's, if I counted correctly, I believe it's 17.
Oh my gosh.
As of today, when I watched the video again, it has 1.6 billion views on YouTube.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it broke the record in its first day, 20.1 million views. And it unseated Nicki Minaj's Anaconda.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's talk about who's in it. And their really cool names.
Oh, yeah, their names.
Because they all have these kind of like badass fighter names.
Right. It's like a cross between Kill Bill and Sin City.
Like assassins.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That kind of vibe.
Yeah. So Taylor herself, her name is Catastrophe, which I think is great because it's like cat.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that.
Catastrophe.
Yeah, that's cute.
Catastrophe. And in the video, it's basically like head to head between Taylor Swift and Selena Gomez.
But in the beginning of the video, they were working together and she was stabbed in the back.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Almost like
What?
inspired by real events.
And I love that she chose Selena Gomez for the villain.
Yeah, I do like that. Selena's character's name was Arson.
Yes.
That's a cool name.
It is a cool name. I think, what would your name be?
I was just about to ask you, what would yours be?
I don't know. I hate being put on the spot. That's why I asked
Think
you.
about it. Okay, think about it while I tell you the names of the other cast members. Well, so Kendrick is in it, and he's Welvin the Great.
Mm-hmm.
Haley Steinfeld is the Trinity, because she has like the 3. Gigi Hadid, Slay Z.
I love her.
Which is fun. Martha Hunt was Home Slice. Zendaya is in this video, and she goes by Cutthroat. I love that one. Lily Aldridge, she's Frostbite. Jessica Alba. That was someone that I forgot was in this until today.
Yeah, Jessica Alba. What was her name?
Domino.
Oh, that's not my favorite.
You're more of a Pizza Hut girl?
I don't know.
I'm a Pizza Hut girl. Ellen Pompeo. She's Luna.
And then Mariska Hargitay was Justice. I love that she had her 2 cat inspiration people in this music video.
I know. Yes, because Ellen Pompeo plays Meredith Grey, and Mariska Hargitay plays Olivia Benson. Yes, her 2 cats. Love that. Lena Dunham, she was Lucky Fiore. And I was thinking, when I was looking at this, I was like, Lena Dunham, that's so random. But then I remembered that Lena Dunham and Jack Antonoff were together for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember that.
Yeah, so there's that tie. Soraya, I believe she's a model. She went by Dilemma in the video.
Okay.
Ellie Goulding was Destructa X.
Perfection.
Cara Delevingne, Mother Chucker.
I wonder if they got to choose their own.
I think they did.
Okay, cool.
Because they were. I think there's like a behind the scenes video where they talk about it. Haley Williams, The Crimson Curse. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Carly Kloss, Knockout. Mariska Hargitay, Justice, and then Cindy Crawford, Head Mistress.
Mm-hmm.
What would your name be?
I think I would be like.
You'd be like the Silent Killer.
That's excellent. I'll take it.
The Silent Killer. Yeah, like quiet but deadly.
Mm-hmm. I like it. Do you have one?
I don't have one. I would have to like
Do
something with my curly hair, I feel like. Because they kind of have things that go with like their interests and personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, I can't think of anything badass
We'll
as
come back
curly
to it.
in
We'll
it. I was
circle
like,
back around.
Curly Strike, but like that's not cool. Maybe just Strike.
Strike is
Striker.
good.
Striker.
Striker's perfect.
Striker.
Nailed it.
That would be me. What should Lacey and Nick be? Since they're not here to claim it themselves, we can give it for them. Lacey would be.
I'm thinking of childish things like Dookie.
What?
I don't know.
What? Dookie?
I don't know.
I
I
was-
need to grow up.
I was thinking of something like, because, Lacey loves to clown, like
Oh.
Clownzilla.
That's good.
That's cool.
You're so creative.
Thank you.
It's like you planned
And
this
then Nick can be
beforehand.
Nick can be
Nick can be
Dookie. Hi, Dookie.
Oh my god, it's so dumb. I love it.
Do you think that how sometimes and I'm not saying this specifically with Bad Blood, but I'm just saying just in general. You know how sometimes you like have an idea with your friends for like, a short film or a TikTok video or something, and you think it's the greatest thing ever, and you do it and you publish it, and then years later you look back on it and you're like, oh my god,
A little
that's so
embarrassed.
cringy, like that's so embarrassing.
Sure.
Do you think Taylor ever has moments like that, like especially as she's like revisiting her old work as she reclaims it all?
sure.
Do you think there's anything that she's like, oh my god, why did I do that?
I'm sure. Yeah, and because one of the reasons, I know you weren't talking about Bad Blood, but now all of these 1989 era, the squad, a lot of these relationships have fallen out. So
Yeah.
I think that's probably one thing. You're like, we're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
So, ooh.
Yeah. Well, yeah, even going through some of these names, it's like, it's been a while since I've seen her hang out with Haley Steinfeld or,
Yeah.
other people. But yeah, I wonder. Bad Blood also, I love, so on the Eras tour,
Yes.
what?
Are you going to talk about the hay?
Yeah,
Security
stop.
guard? She's not doing anything.
She's not doing anything. Yeah, so what was it that happened at, like, it was like at one of the shows during the Eras tour, there was like something happening where like a security guard was like pushing a fan back or something,
Yeah.
right?
I think she was filming
Mm-hmm.
and he was trying to get her to stop.
And I guess the security guard was being just more aggressive than
Than needed to
usual.
be.
And
Yeah.
so Taylor found like the beats of the song where like she could say like, hey, stop, and like keep going. And I think one of my favorite reaction videos ever is like from the Eras tour. There's these two Swifties in the crowd. They were filming themselves during Bad Blood. And like that happens, but like in real time, you have no idea what's going on, right? And so like in this video, they're like, it's whatever, and then they're like, they kind of like stop and they like look at each other like, what's going on? Like
They might have been worried.
what's happening? Well, yeah. So I remember when that happened, people online were like, talking about being at the show and just not knowing what was happening. Like was something like, yeah, something was wrong because there was a security guard that was kind of pushing too hard on a fan, but people were like not knowing what's going on and just hearing Taylor be like, hey, stop. Like that's gotta be scary.
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes with the song, it's like, hey, and then she says, hey, to the security guard.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And people have been putting that on friendship bracelets.
Hey?
Like, hey, stop.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I've seen that. Just online, just on Twitter. But I think it's also an iconic moment of the Eras tour because it's the last song in the 1989 set, and then you just know a surprise song o'clock.
Yeah. And I feel like, there's some parts in the Eras tour where the fans are adding stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're starting to add the security guard, getting onto the security guard. Are they not?
Oh, like as like a chant?
Yeah, as a chant. I've heard that. I don't know if they do it, every night or anything, but I have heard it. I think it's pretty great.
Because we definitely do the chant from the Kendrick Lamar section, from his rap, but you never let it go.
And she gives us space to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so funny too, because I mean, people become fans at different times, and that's totally fine. Some people go to the Eras tour not knowing like where that originated. And I saw when Taylor's version came out, and we get Kendrick's part in it, somebody on TikTok was like, oh my God, they added the chant from the tour like into the song, into Taylor's version. And then other people were like, oh honey, the chant came from the song, but if you don't know, you don't know. Like if I were to go to a concert for any other artist and that kind of it had the same vibe, like I wouldn't know. Somebody would have to tell me. But it is a cute part of the show.
Love it.
Do you think you could do Kendrick Lamar's rap if somebody put you on the spot? Because that happened to me live on the radio and I couldn't do it.
Did it really?
Yeah,
Did
we were
have
doing
that audio.
I know. We were doing, my biggest fear is a finish the lyric game. Because even though I listen to Taylor Swift all day, every day, if she, if the song is on, like, yeah, of course, you know the lyrics and like everything. But my biggest fear is just being put on the spot in a finish the lyric game. And this happened on the radio, on the morning show.
Yeah.
I was put on the spot for Finish the Lyric, and they started playing Bad Blood, and I thought it was going to be like, Taylor's part. And then it went to Kendrick Lamar's part.
It was a personal attack.
It was
on
a personal attack.
It
And the thing
was.
is, I didn't even try because I was just immediately upset.
Yeah.
So I like just kind of, I gave up before I even started.
I think that's fine. I would have been mad too.
But now I'm kind of traumatized because now when I hear the song and I hear Kendrick's part, I practice. But I don't think I could pull it off, like,
I
again,
either.
But there are a lot of fans that could. And then I got really upset because somebody was like, she's not a real fan. And I was like,
no, don't let them say
Okay.
nasty things to you. Dookie.
the one thing that would cut me deep is someone saying I'm not a real Taylor Swift fan. That would hurt me so much. That hurts me more than anything.
It's not true.
Band-Aids don't fix bullet holes. Okay.
So thank you, Joseph Kahn. He's the one who directed this mini film of a music video.
Yes, he's directed a number of Taylor's. Now she kind of directs her own,
Which I love.
which
I
we
think
love.
it's great.
Which we love.
She needed him in the beginning, and now she don't.
Do you have the secret message from this song,
I do.
or the hidden message?
The hidden message, she made friends and enemies.
Ooh,
So there you go.
ooh. I wonder. It'd be cool if she. Do you think that she would ever do that again? The hidden messages.
I wish she would.
I wish you would come back.
But with Folklore and Evermore, I mean, there didn't need to be a hidden message, right? Because it wasn't biographical.
Well,
It was.
yeah. But I mean, she didn't do it with like Lover either.
Oh, you're right.
But like how and the thing is that I check. Like when we got
Do you
when we
really?
got Midnights,
Yeah.
yeah, I checked like the booklet, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna check again with the Tortured Poets department. But how cool would it be if she did that again?
It would be very cool.
I would love it.
She
For
got out
those-
of it, I guess.
For those that don't know, in Taylor's earlier discography, in the lyric booklet that comes with the CD, in the lyrics, she would capitalize letters in the lyrics that would then spell out sentences that we refer to as hidden messages. And it was basically just like an extra hint as to what inspired the song or what the song was about or things like that. And it was always, just a little something extra, a little Easter egg, you know? And yeah, I think she stopped doing that around 1989. And hasn't done that again, but it would be pretty cool if she does that with the Tortured Poets department, which I'm
It'd be
very
fun.
excited about. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, do you have anything else on the song?
Mm-mm. I don't think we need to go lyric by lyric.
It's
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Because baby, now we got Bad Blood.
Yeah.
You used to be Mad Love.
Yeah.
Bad Love. Yes. Well, speaking of the Tortured Poets department, if you guys haven't heard, we are gonna celebrate the
Yes.
Tortured Poets department. We are doing an event that we're very excited about called Swifties in the Park.
Very exciting.
And it's going to happen April 27th, so a week after the album comes out. Saturday, April 27th at Grandscape in the Colony, Texas. Tickets are only $13, and you can find them at the13podcast.net. The link is in the description of this episode. It's also on our social media pages. And hello, that's a new website that we have, the
Yes.
13podcast.net. Haven't even talked about that,
I
but that's
know.
a website just for the podcast where you can find all of our latest happenings, upcoming events, episodes, anything that you missed. We have it up at the 13podcast.net. But this event, Swifties in the Park, I'm really excited because basically we're going to have just this afternoon of celebrating the new album, Tortured Poets Department. We're going to listen to the album. We're going to do a live podcast where we're going to have giveaways and prizes and games. And we're also going to have a Swiftie market, which I think that's going to be really cool. So if you're a Swiftie with a small business and you would like to be a vendor at our Swifties in the Park event, we have a vendor request form, again, at the 13podcast.net. You just tell us a little bit about your business, just kind of apply in a sense to be a vendor for our Swiftie Market event, and we'll be in touch if you apply. But we're really excited. We started getting some requests already, and there are some Swifties with some cool businesses.
Love it.
That I'm very, very excited about. So Swifties in the Park, April 27th. Again, you can get tickets at the 13podcast.net. They're only $13. It is an all ages event, so you can bring your kids, you can bring your grandparents.
Come hang out with us.
Yeah, just come hang out with us.
Yeah.
Just an afternoon in the park. Bring your picnic blankets.
It's going to be chill.
It's going to be really chill.
Yeah.
It's going to be really cool. So we're excited. So thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to let Nick and Lacey know that we have officially declared that we have bad blood with them.
Clownzilla and Dookie.
Yeah. Versus, what were
I
we
don't remember
again?
her name.
The Silent Killer and
Striker. Excellent.
Yes. Hope you guys enjoyed this little half episode, I guess you could call it, since there's half of us.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, subscribe to the podcast anywhere you usually do that. Follow us on social media at the 13 Podcast. Let us know if you have any questions about our Swifties in the Park event. You can also email us. There's like a million ways to contact us if you have any questions about anything. And let us know what we missed. We didn't go through the lyrics like we usually do, but
Next time.
yeah, that just works better when there's all of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, have a good day. Join us next time. Goodbye. I'm Anna.
And I'm Amy.
Oh, now it's officially bad blood.
It's been bad.
Thanks for listening to 13, a Taylor Swift fan podcast. Subscribe for free and leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts.